England fan Joe Bryant has built more than 15 giant German stadiums out of Lego, including the grounds England played their 3 Euro 2024 group games in, plus the vast arena they're hoping to play at in the final. England kicked off their Euros campaign in perfect fashion with a 1-0 win over Serbia at Schalke's Veltins arena. The 62,000-seater ground in Gelsenkirchen was only the third stadium Joe built out of Lego, and it took him a month using 3,000 bricks. But it marked a huge milestone in his Lego journey, as it was the first project he presented to a club in their stadium when it was packed with tens of thousands of fans on a match day.
This is a really unique stadium because the roof can close over the top when they have bad weather in Germany. And it was really special to me because this is the first Lego stadium that I took out to Germany and presented to all the fans, which was really cool to see. I was really young at this point, but the Veltins Arena is a great stadium.
What did you find when you were building this? You've got the suspension roof. What was sort of the most difficult part, or the things you needed to be most careful of noticing detail-wise?
Definitely the hanging scoreboard. The first time I tried to attach it, the whole roof fell down because it was too heavy. So I had to redesign it and then retry it again. So that was the hardest part. It was the most technical part of the stadium that I had to do. I found myself starting to get more understanding for how to build the stadiums and make them more strong, because I now at this stage I overlapped the bricks, which made it so they didn't just fall down every 5 seconds. And I also got more into it, so I used proper colours at this stage, like I did in the Cologne Stadium in the background. So there's a place called Bricklink where you can bulk buy a bunch of bricks, and I did it that way.
In Game 2, England travelled to Eintracht Frankfurt's 58,000-seater Deutsche Bank Park, hoping to win Group C by beating Denmark. But it wasn't to be, as Morten Hjulmand's screamer cancelled out Harry Kane's opener, leaving sloppy England clinging on to a 1-1 draw and sending the nation into meltdown. This impressive arena, complete with floating giant screen, took Joe 6 months to build and used a staggering 6,500 bricks, and it's fair to say that he was pretty proud of it.
This is probably my most detailed and best stadium that I've built so far. Quite recently built this. Well, I integrated more staircases where I didn't before, and the lettering, and then I also upped the level of detail around the outside of the stadium, not just on the inside. So I used to just focus on the insides.
It looks like you've even got hospitality boxes in there, is that right?
Yeah, I did the hospitality boxes in now, and also raised up the landscaping like it is in real life.
England headed to Cologne for their final group game against Slovenia, desperate to shut the doubters up with a resounding performance. But again, fans were left with more questions than answers, as a drab 0-0 saw them win Group C through luck rather than judgment. FC Köln's 50,000 capacity Rhine Energy Stadion took Joe 1 month to build, using 3,000 bricks, and here's what he had to say.
So this is FC Köln Stadium, the Rhine Energy Stadion. FC Köln's mascot is a live goat named Hennes, and they've had the goat. This is their tradition. Right before the game, he comes out onto the pitch. I've been to the Cologne Stadium multiple times. It's a really good stadium. It keeps the atmosphere in really well because it's got a really low roof.
Yeah, and you've got is that the away end we can see there in the grey?
Yeah, in the grey, that's the terraced away end. Yeah, that's where all the away fans are. But the stadium looks like a suspension bridge, like the way the towers, as you can see, they go up and they hold the roof up that way.
Borussia Dortmund's Signal Iduna Park is not only Germany's biggest stadium, but one of the most famous grounds in the world. And if England make it to the semi-finals, they'll play here on July 10th, with the stadium also hosting Germany's round of 16 showdown with Denmark. The iconic 81,000-seater arena, complete with legendary yellow wall, took Joe 4 months to build, using 6,000 bricks, and he's desperate to see it packed out with 3 Lions fans in the semis.
This is the Signal Iduna Park, home of Dortmund, the biggest stadium in Germany and the biggest stadium used for Euro 2024. But there's the yellow wall, which I'm sure many football fans will recognise instantly. I'd love to see England here because I love the stadium. Obviously, it has so many unique features such as the iconic yellow wall and also the yellow tower.
So this looks particularly challenging, Joe. A lot more difficult and technical than some of the others you've done. Was that the case?
Yeah, this is the first time I did outsides, and on the roof here Dortmund have solar panels of their badge, and yeah, this took ages to design. I kept trying it and never getting it quite right. I love those towers because you can see them. I remember going back there, you can see them from ages away on the motorway, a couple of miles each way.
So for any fans visiting the stadium, what should they be looking out for here?
Generally just enjoy the stadium because it's a great stadium and the yellow wall, because not everyone gets to see it, which is sad. But I also think football fans will love the stadium because when I visited there, I had half a litre of breakfast. Definitely would recommend for anyone visiting.
If England manage to reach their second consecutive Euros final, they face a showdown at Berlin's enormous 76,000-seater Olympic Stadium on July the 14th. The home of Bundesliga side Hertha Berlin still has a running track around the pitch, leaving fans miles away from the action. But that will not bother Joe if England lift their first trophy for 58 years at the biggest ground he's ever built. The build took 3 months and used exactly 5,669 bricks, a number he knows, having had to painstakingly count the exact amount for the club.
This is the Olympic Stadium of Germany, home to Hertha Berlin, and this is where the final for Euro 2024 is going to be held. Hopefully with England being there, hopefully lifting the trophy as well. This one's also got the running track from when they held the Olympic Games. This was the biggest stadium that I did. I think I did this when I was about 12, and I remember I laid down next to it, like next to the board of how long it was, and it was taller than me. So this stadium holds around 76,000, so one of the biggest in Germany. And hopefully you will see it packed out with England fans. This one took about 3 months, and this was at the time definitely the best one that I built and the biggest. It still is the biggest one that I've built. As you can see, it was absolutely huge, and when I took this out to Berlin, it was rattling all the way.
And the Olympic rings you've got there as well, where'd you get them from?
So I found those just like randomly like in my house, and then I was like, oh, that'd be a nice touch. So that's like the only thing I've ever glued on a stadium.
Ipswich fan Joe's love of German football was inspired on a family holiday aged just 7, and as a result he's only ever built one English ground. That was the Broadfield Stadium, home of his local team and League One newbies Crawley Town, who are in fact sponsored by Brickborough, a Lego loaning company.
So what does it feel like, Joe, when you're starting these things or when you get to finish them? How does it feel throughout the process? Do your feelings change at all?
Sometimes I get like, when I can't get something right, it's a little bit frustrating, but honestly, the more I get going on with the stadium, the more it starts to take shape, so the more excited I get about the stadium and the more excited the fans get. This moment here was one of my favourite moments, because it was the first time I ever went out on a pitch and I spoke in front of the stadium. Obviously, because they have the hanging scoreboard, it was played up there, as you can see. Yeah. And all the fans went mental for it. It was really cool. It was my first time ever doing it, so I was really nervous.
Do you ever feel when you're about to start one that, especially if they're taking 6 months, this is going to be a long journey?
I definitely think that it takes a long time. For instance, Kaiserslautern's almost reached 6 months already, and that's only halfway through. But I always just look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing the fans' reactions as well, because I post pictures out on social media and they get really into it.
Have you got any particular sort of messages or anything that you've enjoyed receiving from your Lego journey?
Definitely like pictures of me out in Germany and in general just everywhere. And yeah, just people always replying to me on like Twitter and like Instagram. It's really cool. And when I went to Frankfurt, I did an interview on the stage outside because they have like a tribune outside. And I finished the interview and loads of people wanted to take pictures with me. They were all queuing up and it was a really cool sight.
Amazing, you're a celebrity in Germany.
Yeah, mini celebrity.